All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing all right, buddy. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. All right, guys. Welcome to another day here, day number two of this week as we get started looking at what's happening in the markets. What a great day yesterday we had in the SPY and overall just everything trading pretty well yesterday morning. So let's take a look quick some of the top plays and highlights we have from yesterday. I want to start over with Nkla, Nkla. We had this one on our list, guys. And again, this was very active yesterday pre-market wise, but man, the morning was just brutal. There was nothing clean about it. If you zoom in here, guys, you could see how choppy this thing was. Again, up and downs here, pretty aggressive. So you definitely did not like that price action there. Mrna was a beast yesterday, guys. This stock sold off the entire pre-market after the news that broke out. I think it was PFE possibly making something a little bit better than they had. And they just took a nice tumble. And even today
Yeah.
continued to leak some here. But the action here, guys, was very, very wild. This thing looked like it was going to be strong here. And actually turned out to be an amazing fallen angel here. Beautiful. Sorry, Rising Devil. Beautiful entry for a possible short, but it did get halted down here. And once that happened, that's what becomes scary to kind of rejoin a trade after it's been halted, right? So I believe it was right on here at 935 or so candle. Then from there, just kind of recovered a bit, but again, overall, just an amazing stock yesterday, but just too wild to actually trade. You had to be really quick in and out on this one. SPCE, also a nice little drop here. Gave you a beautiful pullback to get back into the trade if you wanted as well. If you missed the first drop, that also traded well. Then got a little bit choppy towards the end here. Later in the day, let's just zoom out a little more here so you get a little bit better action. Later in the day, you can see nothing much really happened. Again, just chopped around. There were some other good movers that we did not have on our list just because the overall spy, and I'll get to those in a second. Here's how, also another one that was very choppy, guys. You got this one wick. I do like the seeing this wick here, though. If you're able to, I was so focusing on mRNA, with what was happening there. But if you're able to catch some of this stuff here, this is a huge drop, and then you get this crazy buying power coming in, pushing the stock higher. I usually like to take this play here for open range breakup because then that means the buyers are in control. You can get a pretty good continuation. You did get that, but again, not as clean here, guys. And then from there, it just becomes very choppy. Later in the day, it does settle down. You get a beautiful drop here off the VWAP. As soon as it loses this one, that becomes a beautiful entry for a possible short. PFE yesterday, this was a lot cleaner than mRNA. You can see here, beautiful drop, nice pullback to the VWAP, and then this becomes a great entry for a short as well. A little bit of ABCD, reverse ABCD pattern here, as well as an open range breakup on the 5 also. INO was just incredible. I did not check this one out at all, unfortunately. But just look at the action here, guys. Opens up, great opening range breakdown here, and just never really looks back. If you didn't have a tight entry here, it would have been tough to get in this trade. But again, just a beautiful drop here, a little bit of a recovery. Now, let's take a look at what some of the other stocks that we did not have on watch, guys. AMD, look how beautiful
AMD
this
was a
was.
beast.
It's
Some of
just
the members of
insane.
the room took it. It was just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just unreal how great this was. Look at other stuff like Microsoft, another one. It's just amazing what happened in Microsoft as well. Even MU yesterday was incredible. I can't remember was the last time MU traded so well. Yesterday was the day for it. Look at this, guys. A little rough start, but then it does get going. Look how beautifully it turns into this beautiful trend trade following this amazing moving average here all the way up. Just strong the entire day. We had this level here at 50. You can see a little bit of hesitation there. Once it breaks out of that, it just becomes an amazing trade. So again, there's more out there that look like that. Tons of stocks that were trading well, and a lot of that, and we're going to get into it in a second, is normal talk about it with the market pulse. Was because of SPY. The SPY was very, very strong. But before we get to that, guys, I want to talk about the member.
I just lost Carlos. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. You can hear me. You can't hear Carlos? Okay. Let me,
Okay.
there
Can
he
you guys
is.
hear me now? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
All right, sorry about that. Must have hit the mute button, an error or something. But here it is, guys. The member trade of the day goes to Stan Colton. He did an amazing trade on SPCE. He took it long there. Notice the level 2 was not looking in his favor. Completely took a nice quick stop on there. Then he realized this is a short. You know, it's looking weak. He went in short here right at the VWAP. An amazing entry. Took some profits on the way down. And this is a beautiful, look at this ad here, guys. Comes back up to the VWAP.
Yeah.
You know, it rejects the VWAP nicely, rejecting that price level there. And a beautiful short, a beautiful ad to even go further down toward his level again, where he takes another partial and then drops down all the way down to some pretty good levels here. It looks like the highs and lows of the day here, those dotted red lines down there. So again, just an amazing trade, Stang. Thank you for that. Norm will talk a little bit more how you guys can submit your trades for the member trade of the day, and then also at the end of the week, what prices we have for you. So again, just Norman, overall amazing day yesterday. Let's get into the market pulse and see what some of the stuff that happened yesterday and what can we expect the rest of this week or today.
Yeah, NASDAQ's been on a tear recently, last several weeks, but longer than that, really. But then it finally, last week, started to slow down a little bit. And it looked like maybe there's going to be a rotation out of tech. That did not take place. That reversed yesterday. Tech was strong. It's coming in this morning. It's been a leader. SPY is up. We've moved through a bunch of resistance levels. We're now back to a point where we're just above the high that we made on June 8th, which it was the peak of the V recovery in the market that we've had. And then we had this dip down, down to about 300 on the SPY, and now we're back above that recent peak. So I'm curious. I don't see what's in the way unless just some really nasty earnings come out, and we've got big earnings week with a bunch of players reporting this week, next week. I don't see what's in the way between here and all-time highs, frankly, especially when I woke up this morning and saw this big gap of 0.8%. So energy's up. That's a demand play, recovery play. Technology, I mean, just pretty broad-based, really. The only thing I see down is communication services. So it overall looks good. There's not really any significant economic data coming out this morning. There was Chicago Fed National Activity Index at 8:30, and there's a couple of nominations later in the day for Fed members. But other than that, nothing out of the ordinary today.
All right, excellent. So yeah, guys, this is what we have this morning as far as our gappers list. We got quite a bit in the green, obviously, with the market being so strong, pulling some of these stocks up nicely today. So we'll get into what's going on there. Not a lot in the red. We have a few names on here. Mrna continues to take a hit here, down 2.6. Vxrt is one that we've been watching closely. So we'll get into what's happening there. A couple of low floats leading the way here on some big gains this morning. So we'll see which ones are worth watching. I know IMRN, a lot of people saw this yesterday. I think some members in the community took trades on IMRN and did very well there. So again, we'll look at what's going on there, possible continuation today. But on here, guys, we have a lot today. We have all the names that we've been watching closely, plus some additional ones that are just doing very well with the market run yesterday and the gap up today. I mean, we're up almost 1% after a very big day. Let's get into it, guys. Let's remove what we had yesterday. And we will start with what's gapping down this morning, opposite of the overall market, and see what's driving these tickers down. AHT, the low flow stock, sitting at 9 million shares float, really. And at the moment, looks like it really wants to head south here. Again, had a nice pop a couple of days ago here last week. I was able to hold this area around $6. Now we seem to be leaking down here, guys. So again, this is 9 million shares float. I'm not liking the volume on it right now, only 117. So you want to be careful with this. This does not look attractive, even for the
it's a REIT.
one. It's a REIT, yeah. So it's probably not going to trade well with a lot of volume anyway. So Vxrt, guys, this one, as we know, has been extremely active. Yesterday, I tuned into yesterday because it hit the scanners. Was it yesterday? No, American Visa with another one. I think that was Workhorse. Workhorse was the one that actually Let's take a look at this one. Yesterday, just out of nowhere, volume comes in, and look at this run up on Wkhs yesterday. So that's interesting. They're up 5.6. We'll get to them in a second here. But Vxrt, guys, again, right now, very active, down 3.3, 346. Their daily does look entry for a possible weak play here, right? We're kind of at the bottom of the support area. If we can lose this, we got some room to run here. But for the most part, it is so-so. I'm going to put it straight into a possibles list because today, I think yesterday this would have been a great stock to have on deck, right, with this type of pre-market action, because we did have a little rough time getting a list together. But today, I think on our gapping up list, we're going to find some things that are looking pretty neat today, this morning. Vxrt will put down as a possible. Mrna continues to drop here, guys. Again, now down another 3%. I mean, had a rough day yesterday, obviously. This thing was up as high as 98 pre-market, right? If you guys remember, this thing pre-market was at 90, 98 right on here. Drops all the way down to 78. That's what it hit. And then from there, it's kind of bounced a little bit. Now we're at the 80 level. So again, possible continuation on this one, guys. I'm going to add it on here, but know that this is a stock you want to be very, very careful with. You saw what it did yesterday, how fast it can move here. It opened up at 88, the first 15 minutes down to 78, right? After trying to hit 91. So just hear those numbers out. This is not a stock that you want to be taking a bunch of shares on. Let's look at what is gapping up this morning, starting with our low flow stocks here. Mrna. This one yesterday, let's look at the action. Had actually a beautiful market open. Sometimes these low flow stocks, man, they just sell down and don't give you a good opportunity. This one was pretty strong. You can see here, it really held nicely, hit the highest of the pre-market, and then gave you a little more pop before it started breaking down. So again, traded very well. You had another breakout here also around noon, where you had a nice little pop here, another little run up, trying to get to the high of the day. Obviously couldn't get there, but again, if you timed this well, this was a very good stock to trade yesterday. Possible continuation today, guys. We are up 102 on this one, but right now pre-market is not as pretty as what we saw yesterday. So I'm concerned with this type of pre-market action. Be very careful. Again, it's up quite a bit, guys. This thing is a little bit extended on the daily. Does not mean that it cannot run, but if you are going to watch this one today, be mindful that this had
3 million share float.
Yeah, it's a 3 million shares float. So I'm putting it down here for the low flow team. Be very, very careful. I won't be trading it, but if you guys are, just be mindful of that. IBIO is on our list here this morning. Daily had a big day yesterday. Let's take a look at how it actually traded. Oh man, this is I'm not a fan of how this actually traded. It doesn't look as clean as I would like. Pre-market right now is pretty choppy. We have 4 million shares traded, but again, this is not trading clean, and it is on the American exchange. They usually don't trade as clean for me personally. So IBIO, again, I'm not a fan of it, guys. I'm not going to be putting it on my list because I know I'm not going to trade it. But if you do like this one, you can grab that one. QLGN. This is a 12 million shares float right now. I'm going to skip on this one. You don't have a great pre-market action, which is important for these low flow stocks. So let's move on to the next one. AYRO, same situation, guys. This is a horrible pre-market action for a low flow stock. You do have a million shares traded, but this is not the type of action you want to see. Let's look at AG this morning. Also not looking great pre-market wise, 196. You do have a big pop here, 7%. No, I'm not sure if you're able to look into this one. Any news causing this pop today on AG?
I didn't dig into it too much because it's a Canadian silver miner, and it's just not something that is usually, great trading stock. So that's.
Yeah, I'm looking at the daily a little bit closely. You can see that the several gaps up here. It's just.
I mean, silver's up 6% this morning. So I don't know what exactly has popped that, but that's what's pushing these up. That Barrick Gold's down there. There's a couple of them. So
yeah, gotcha. Let's take a look at WKHS again. Yesterday, out of nowhere, this thing took a nice pop here, guys, around noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can see here, beautiful pop here, trading very well. At the moment right now, pre-market is pretty flat at the moment. Again, we're up 5.5, but overall, the pre-market action is not looking all that clean. Does not mean that it cannot trade well today. I do like the daily for a possible breakout. It has had some really, really rough days, but we have had some good plays on the days where it has ran. We have been able to get some good trades out of this. But the last couple of days, we've seen some rough action on there, pretty choppy for the most part. Like yesterday, this was typical action, right? It was choppy for most part of the morning until this run up happened. So again, and we had a better pre-market activity than what we do today. So not sure what to expect on it, guys. I'm going to throw it down as a possible. If it gets better, we could take a look at it. If we're going to get any type of continuation here. Here's NEO this morning. They are up 4.8 after a nice run up yesterday. I did not watch it, but let's check the action here. Looks like they did had a nice little pop here, nice little trend trade with the market also. Right now they're up 4.8, some good volume, 4.8 million shares traded. Possible continuation on this one, guys. Let's throw it on here. We'll come back to it and see what we can get out of NEO this morning. Here's IBM. IBM, again, earnings last night, Norm, I believe, and had a nice big pop.
Yeah, IBM did have earnings. They beat their earnings, and they did a nice big pop, as you said. This has been kind of a sleeper stock for a while.
Yeah.
Looks like it's trading pretty well this morning.
And guys, this is up 4.9 today. Again, that's a big, it might not seem like a big number compared to when you start seeing, up 16, 14, 13%. But for this stock, this 4.9, don't let it fool you. This is a big pop for a big company like this one. So definitely in play today. Pre-market action doesn't look great, but this is typical IBM action, especially typical NYSE action. Today, this could be a good one to have in play here for any direction. If it's going to be strong, we could break out of this high that we have here, or if it's going to be weak, we could have a drop here. So we can have it either way. If we can break out of this range, we can have some good opportunities there. Let's take a look at how it's coming into play here. I'm going to skip on how it was pretty horrible yesterday. I'm seeing pretty horrible pre-market action now as well. So I'm going to move from that one. Let's look at NKLA. This one, let's get rid of some of these levels here. Again, big drop on it yesterday, but it felt like it just didn't do much. I mean, it was so wild, the price action. Look how crazy this was. There's nothing clean about these movements here. Maybe a couple of scalps here in this engulfing pattern, but again, I wouldn't trust it as much. I'm not sure what to expect on NKLA today. I'm going to put it as a possible, but again, it's just yesterday traded so bad. Today, they got some good volume. Their pre-market action, not as clean as we've seen from other stocks this morning, but they do have some good volume, 647 this morning. BABA on our list. Let's remove some of these levels. We'll get some fresh ones. BABA, similar price action to what we had yesterday into the pre-market, just kind of going sideways here a bit. Right now, they're up 3.4. What continues to be the news, Norm, on BABA that continues to gap them up? They gapped up big yesterday.
The spinoff that I was talking about, and then this morning it was announced they've got a partnership. I believe it's with Starbucks, something along those lines. They're gonna somehow order through one of their apps, something along those lines.
All right. I'm going to throw BABA in here, guys, because, again, that's a good catalyst. We'll see what we can get out of it. But I'm going to add as a possible because BABA tends to be a little tougher stock to trade for me personally. I don't have a lot of luck trading BABA, so I usually avoid it. But I'm going to keep it on here, guys. They're up 3.4 with some pretty decent volume. The last couple of days, again, nice big gaps here starting off since Friday. Gapped up here, gapped up yesterday, and today another gap up towards these most recent highs here. So interesting to see what Bob is going to do today. Let's head on down to TSM. Is a foreign stock, so we don't usually watch this one. You could tell it's foreign, one because of the name, obviously, but if you look at the daily, you could tell how choppy the daily is, how many gaps it has in between. This is not a great daily chart at all. So usually, if you can pick it up by the name, if you see a funky daily chart like this one, with a lot of wicks, a lot of gaps in between days, it is most likely a foreign stock and doesn't trade very well. And they usually tend to have very, 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 very light volume. Here's KO, guys. KO is up 3% this morning. What I like about KO right now is the daily. This is a great daily. Possible breakout out of this range that they've been stuck in the last four trading days. So we have broken out of this 47 area. We got some pretty good levels we can hit here. Now, KO is a stock that it is on the NYSE Stock Exchange. So again, it usually doesn't have the best pre-market action. But today, this pre-market action is pretty decent for this stock. They tend not to trade all that well. So even in the market open, we'll see if it's actually in play. They tend not to have the best pre-market. Intraday.
Yeah, when they have earnings, like you said, they don't always trade great. But the few times a year they have earnings, sometimes they're a better trading stock. So
yeah, agreed. So again, big move here for them this morning. Here's Oxy. We haven't seen this one here in a while. Obviously, we can see the daily here. They've been just chopping around. They're up 2.7 at the moment. Not a great pre-market action. So again, I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing right now. Oxy is a play that you want to see a lot of volume on here, tracking well in the pre-market. That could change later in the day, but for the most part, I'm going to skip on it this morning. Big drop yesterday here, guys. By the way, look at this. Let's look at BP. Is a foreign stock. We'll skip on this one. Here is Space. Space also has been pretty decent the last couple of days on their daily. Right now, pre-market action, not all that great, guys. This could be a good possible. Again, we had a great open yesterday. As you saw, the trade of the day, this was on this one here, an amazing trade here that he took. But again, for the most part right now, the pre-market's not looking all that great. I'm inclined to put it as a possible. I do like the daily on it. We got some pretty good levels, see if we can get going. We'll see. You know what? We'll throw it as a possible. We'll come back to it. Let's head on down to Plug. We're going to skip on this one, guys. The reason why is I don't like the pre-market action. Doesn't look great. And also, it's a stock that doesn't move much, and it trades horrible in the actual intraday trading. You got a couple of days that does well. And again, all the stocks yesterday kind of had this huge drop. But then look at it after, right? Very choppy in the morning. So I'm going to skip on this one. Gold is next. Again, we don't usually watch this one. It is up nicely today, 2.4. But we don't watch it for an actual intraday play. NCLH and CCL, they're both not doing much right now. They got some okay volume, but their pre-market is a little bit all over the place. Their daily looks great for a possible hold here of this support, but right now I'm not seeing anything exciting on both of these, so we're going to skip on those today. If it gets better, we can come back and take a look at it. And the last one on here, JMIA, also doesn't have a great pre-market action. Big day yesterday, huge pop here after having a weak pre-market action, nothing going on, no volume, and you had an amazing pop here throughout the entire day. Again, this could be the overall market just pushing this higher. But again, big day for them, possible continuation, but their pre-market right now, their volume is just not great. So we need something better out of this. Hopefully, if it hits the scanners, things can get better there. All right, guys, let's take a look at Norm. What do you like this morning on your end?
I'm still narrowing down my list, but let's toss to the room, and I'll shout out my list in a little bit.
You got it, man. Let's start with Alex here. He's looking at Snap this morning. Let's take a look at Snap and what's going on.
They report after the bell today, I believe.
Oh, they do? Okay, perfect. So these guys have been doing well over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean, months or so. Look at this. Snap sitting at a 25. Not bad, not bad. So pre-market action right now for Snap is very light, guys. Snap is a company, you need a lot of volume to get this moving. So I am not seeing anything overly exciting right now on this stock. I mean, we need to wait for some volume to come in. 236 on Snap is not a lot. It's like a Twitter stock as well. Twitter needs a lot of volume to trade nicely. And also this stock can be very, very choppy. So we can tune into it a little bit later in the day, right? Maybe after 11:30, if it hits the scanners, kind of see what's going on, see what is going to how it's going to set up. Looking forward to this possible earnings release later today. So next, let's go back up here. Who we have? Twitter. TWTR this morning. Their pre-market action also very light, guys. Again, not a whole lot of volume this morning. Great daily though. I love the breakout here at 36 yesterday. Obviously the overall market helped with that. They went right to this level of prior resistance. We're gapping above that, so possible continuation play if it has some really decent volume, right? Again, I'm gonna put it as a possible, because I do like the daily a lot better than Snap on this one, guys. The daily's looking really nice here, getting above this $37 price. But again, I don't see no juice just yet. HTBX, excuse me. HTBX right now, 3.9 million shares traded. It's a good pre-market action. We got some good movement happening here. Now, this is what is the float on this one? Curious, because I see
75 million.
75 million. Okay, so this is a big company. Okay. Again, I just don't like the fact on the price action here, sitting for the most part below $1. Yeah, I'm just concerned with that. Not sure what to think about this one, guys. It's usually not a typical. What was that?
Penny stock.
Yeah, exactly. It's more.
I mean, it's got this pop, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
the last few days. But other than that,
yeah. And again, guys, it's just not our typical stock here again. So I'm just going to move on from this one right now. Tesla. Yeah, Tesla is just amazing. Tesla, great day yesterday. Giving some back this morning a little bit here, down over a little bit less than 1%. But again, this stock just has been incredible. I won't have it on watch. It's too expensive for my type of trading, $1,600. But again, it is fun to watch, guys. This thing has been incredible what it has done over the last couple of months and the last couple of days, really. Let's take a look at BA this morning. BA's not hasn't done much really. I mean, it's been holding on to this level of support here. Right now, their volume is a lot lighter than what we're used to seeing when they are in play. They're only up 1.5, and all the airlines have been pretty quiet for the most part as well. So not going to add this one this morning. I love that they're holding this support here, and any positive news or anything that can be, that can push the stock higher. Maybe the overall market didn't budget yesterday, which is kind of surprising because usually these stocks move well when the market is moving well. But again, that was more on the tech side, looks like. So I'm not seeing anything great right now. You are starting to get in some volume, so I'm not sure if anything is breaking out. We'll have to come back to it. Let's look at a few more, guys. SRNE, and then we'll go over to YouTube, see what we have going on there. SRNE, this stock, it's been pretty active, and I've seen people take some pretty good trades on it. I cannot trade this stock. It doesn't trade well for me. It's very difficult to read the price action. I know it had an amazing pop here. This was yesterday's pre-market, but again, it's a tough stock to trade. So I'm gonna stay away from this one, guys. If you do like this stock and you like the way it trades, definitely add it. But for my taste, it's just not great. Again, this is also another ETF, guys. So we usually don't trade dust. We don't add it to our list. Let's set down here. NBA we looked at. Last one, EVRI. We'll see what YouTube has on our end. So EVRI, here we go. Yeah, no volume on this one, guys. Only 20 million shares traded. And again, you can see here, this daily doesn't look great neither. All right, let's take a look at what we have on YouTube here, guys. Let's start with Brian, SOV here. SOV this
Silver
morning.
ETF.
Sorry?
Silver ETF.
Yeah, so let's see what we got. Silver ETF. So, guys, we mentioned earlier, silver is popping up. We had another stock ticker here as well, AG, up this morning. We usually don't trade these for actual intraday play. You can trade them, but I usually don't go into silver or gold looking for an open range breakdown or ABCD pattern, right? It's just not the way that they don't trade that type of style, right? AHT here. Let's see what we have. AHT is more of a penny stock, guys. So we really don't focus on stocks that are trading under $1. I mean, this thing at one point was 50 cents. They just, our style doesn't really cater to this type of stocks, right? Also, you have no volume. There's nothing going on here that will make this one interesting for what we're looking for. SRNA,
5 million share float penny stock. Just not our style. Not that some people don't trade them, just not our style.
Exactly. So, Jose, you probably meant a different stock because this SRNA, this is a typical stock that.
SRNE, I believe, is what he was talking
probably
about.
what you meant. We'll look at that because SRNA is not something you want to be looking at or touching. This is hurtful to your eyes. This will damage your vision here. So do not look at stuff like that.
It's a brutal bounce between 2 and 3 cents.
Yeah, you don't want to be a part of that. SRNE, as we mentioned earlier, again, guys, this stock is active, 1.2 million shares traded. You know what? I'll put it on here since you guys like this one. We'll look at it. I won't be trading it because I just don't like the way the intraday action is on it. It's very difficult to trade for me, but we'll put it on here. We'll take a look at it. Let's take a look at SQ. SQ this morning, nice pop yesterday, guys. Again, trading very well. SQ doesn't have a great pre-market action, but it's one of these stocks that can be very active. So I like the daily here for a possible continuation. Talking about SQ, what is AMD? See, AMD, MU, all of these are looking pretty good this morning as far as daily. They're very quiet on the volume, though, for the most part, including AMD. AMD has a little bit more, 388. So I would love to see a continuation here. I'm going to add AMD here this morning, but keeping in mind that SQ, AMD, and MU could be some good ones today to watch. IBIO, let's take a look there. IBIO starting to get going again. Another one sitting more of a penny stock, guys. A lower price stock. I don't usually watch these. Again, I know the last couple of days this thing has been exploding here, guys. Up 15% now. 5 million shares traded. It is sitting on the American Stock Exchange. Again, it's just not the stuff that we really focus on. AYRO we looked at, guys. MTP, we'll take a look at that one. MTP, another penny stock. Again, we really don't focus on penny stock, guys, so I'm gonna skip on this one. All right, Vincent. Yes, it does. It as far as a penny stock, this does look good. You got the volume, 3 million shares traded, up 94%. This is the type of stuff you want to get on a penny stock. But again, just be very careful in trading these stocks. In KO, we do have on here. KO starting to get going nicely, guys. Good pre-market action being built here. We're starting to get some action on it this morning. Looking forward to that one at the open. All right, guys, we have a pretty decent list this morning. A lot going on today. Let's go over to
Roku.
announcements, and we will come back and fine tune this list.
Roku.
There we go, Roku.
So it's not doing anything this morning, but I'm liking the way this daily's shaping up. I don't know what's going to happen today, but I think it's imminent to start trading well again.
Yeah, and we have to do, because we made a mistake last time, Normie and you. We say it's happening, and I think we just kind of forgot to keep looking at it, and it happened. So I am going to keep
It's
this.
easy to do when we've got 2 or 3 dozen gappers every morning.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this here on top as the top possible and make sure that I'm looking out for this on the scanners, because Roku is such a sleeper, man. It can do this. The daily looks amazing.
No volume this morning, but we've seen it so much recently where it does absolutely nothing pre-market and then just awesome moves.
Yeah. I don't even look at the volume on Roku anymore. I focus more on the daily because it's just amazing what it can do. All right, folks, over to announcements. We'll come back.
All right, guys. Success webinar tomorrow night. Mike will be talking about developing your edge, your playbook through journaling. Always important to journal, especially thoroughly early in your trading career. So tune into that, 8 p.m. in the webinar room this Wednesday. Next Wednesday is Jared talking about options trading. He's our in-house options expert, and he will talk about how to start possibly working that into your trading. Psychology webinar next week. You have tonight off, but next week Mike will be doing module 2, psychology of trading, talking about how your mind deals with uncertainty. Member trade of the day that Carlos highlighted early this morning. So Monday through Thursday, 4 days of the week, take your best trade, mark it up, explain your entries, your exits, and so on and so forth. Post it on Twitter by 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike B_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtag BBT family. That way we can find it. Also, if you don't do that and tag all of us and use the hashtag, we don't know that you're trying to enter the contest. So unless those things are done, we really can't choose it. Mike and I will choose that winner each day, and it will be announced by Mike in the closing bell show. And then each Friday, we'll take the 4 daily winners and announce the winner of the 4, the winner for the week, member trade of the week. That person will be awarded a $100 gift card from Amazon. E-gift card, physical gift card. I believe it's going out as an e-gift card, but that's what's going on. So, and then if you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you can do so at a discount for $24 instead of $39. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. Gives you 7 calendar days in the room, 5 trading days, including the onboarding class each Monday night at 8 p.m. that Carlos does. It doesn't renew or anything like that. It's just a week in the room. No more, no less. If you're looking to upgrade your membership or become a lifetime member, use the promo code Rockies40. We anticipate this being the last time we do this large of a discount off lifetime memberships. So if you want to take advantage of that, it is going on right now. Rockies40 is a promo code for that. If you listen to podcasts, you can search your favorite platform, use the terms Talk with Traders. You'll find the Bearable Traders podcast. Peter putting out content each and every other week. Speaking of Peter, join him, Mike, and Brian in the closing bell show, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern, live streamed on YouTube.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Norm. All right, guys, let's get to this list. I was looking at AZN. Someone mentioned this one in the chat room as well. This was Daniel, possible sleeper. Again, I'm not seeing anything great, but I agree. If this it has a couple of great candlesticks here. So it has some pretty nice runs on the daily. Not sure how the action is going to be at the market open. All right, let's take a look at mRNA, guys. Let's start with this one here. Hopefully mRNA today could be a little bit less wild than it was yesterday. Right now, the pre-market is looking pretty good. Still taking a beautiful hit this morning, down 2.6. I love what I'm seeing on it here. It is on short selling restriction. Do we have shares for short? Yes, we do. So again, the key with this stock, guys, and so I keep mentioning this, it's probably so repetitive, but I want for the new people that are joining us to be aware, you have to take a small number of shares. You can make some pretty good money here taking a very small number of shares, right? And if you get stopped out, you're not gonna be hurting your bottom line here. So be careful with that one. But definitely like Mrna this morning, guys, a possible move to this level here. 78 seems to be a very strong area for Mrna. Look at the resistance and look at the support we have there. So I like what I'm seeing there. Neo taking a nice hit here, still up 3%, but again dropping nicely here this morning. Pretty good volume. So I'm starting to like this one even more. So look at the pre-market action, right? Before, early on, we had some volume coming in here, just kind of moving sideways within this range, right? And we kind of marked the range right on here. This is the kind of the bottom of the range. Here's the top of the range. And we have lost this support here. Once we lost this, you can see how the volume starts coming in. Beautiful drop here. So I like what I'm seeing there on Neo, creating some good movement for us. We'll keep that one up for sure. Here's an IBM. IBM not doing much this morning. Does not mean that it won't be great. We do have a range. We're stuck in between 133 and 131, which is our pre-market highs and lows right now, after a big move yesterday on earnings, right? So this can go either way right now, kind of midpoint, but I do like to see this one break out one way or the other, and I think it'll create some good opportunities for us. So I like this one. KO also great, guys. Again, normally does not trade well. Today could be the difference maker. They have some pretty good volume this morning and looking pretty strong, up 3%. SQ giving some back now as well. That's good after a big day yesterday. So I like what I'm seeing there. With SQ, I'm keeping in mind MU. I'm keeping in mind all these other companies as well. AMD, not doing all that much, but I'm keeping those companies in mind in case we see them come up into our list. What happened to Microsoft? I thought we had Microsoft on the list. Yeah, Microsoft is a good one too. Let's get Microsoft in here. Yep, Microsoft is good, guys. Perfect. All right, let's take a look at some of our possibles. Let's see if we can remove any. Roku, I'm going to keep. SRNE, I'm going to remove this one, guys. Again, I think we have some pretty decent stocks this morning. I think this is not one of them. SEN, Space here giving a little bit back as well. That's okay. Baba giving some back here. That's good. Nkla, I'm going to remove this one today. Let's get this one out of the way. Vxrt. I like the daily on Vxrt for a possible drop here, so we'll keep this one. Workhorse was great yesterday, not doing anything right now. We need this to get better. It has great volume, but just look at this pre-market action. A lot of the volume is being pushed in by several candles with some high volume on them. Overall, the pre-market, this is a very bad pre-market action. So let's remove this one for now. And then we have Twitter on here. What's going on with Twitter? Not doing all that much. We need volume is too light, so let's get rid of that one. And we do have our low flow of the day that's kind of dropping here a bit, up 88% now, 83%. Mrna with some good volume, 4.1. So all right, we got a pretty good list, guys. Let's start with Mrna this morning. Let's get some levels in here. Low of the pre-market sitting at 80.12, but the level that I like here a lot is this 78. If we could lose this 80.12 to 78, it's a perfect, very strong level being tested several times. And guys, for those that are new, what makes a good, strong level is how many times it has been tested, right? So over here, you tested it as resistance, as support before, as support yesterday, great support yesterday, huge drop all the way down to 78 and then bounced off of that. So again, that makes it a good level. The more something is tested, the more clear it is as well. The bigger change in direction that you have, the more important that level is going to be. Towards the bottom, if we lose that, we do have a small one here. This is a minor level, 76, and another one all the way down here, 71. So that's what we have towards the bottom. Towards the top, you got your previous day close. High of the pre-market at 84.79, and then right in here, guys, 87.88. A great area of resistance as well. Several days opening around that area and kind of dropping there. A nice rejection here of a couple of days ago as well. And then you have your highs and lows in between here quite a bit, but overall you got some pretty good levels on Mrna. Here is Neo. Neo so far, we do have this range we broke out. We spoke about earlier. We broke out of this range just a few minutes ago. We're dropping nicely here. Our low of our pre-market right now, we're getting a little bit of a pullback slightly. It's a 13.17, but the level that you want to keep on here is going to be this low of the previous day close, a very important level right on there. So that's going to be an important one to have. It is also your high from yesterday as well. Let's see if we can get into that area. Towards the bottom, guys, you pretty much cover highs and lows are taken care area here, you do not need to add anything down there. But towards the top, if we can get back into this 1374 or into this range, if we can break out of that, we have some pretty good levels. I'm going to start with this one here, 1408, another one over here at 1455, 1526, and obviously this one up here, 1640. All right, here is IBM. IBM for the most part not doing a whole lot right now. As far as levels towards the top side, you do have a great area over here at 135. 82, and also look at this 133.59. Look how great that level is. This is our high of our pre-market, but it's also being confirmed by 2 days in here, opening and closing right around that price target. The low of the pre-market as well, 131, also being confirmed by the bottom of these couple of days on here. So again, you got some confirmation there also. Towards the bottom of this 131.53, you do have here 129.84, a great level of resistance, and then support at one point, and then below that, you really only have the next level is going to be your high from yesterday. There's nothing really in between here. If you look at, if you go in between this gap here, there's nothing else here that looks great as far as a level of support and resistance, right? So be on the lookout for this moving average around 129. Obviously, the whole dollar numbers are important, but let's see which way IBM is going to shift today, up or down. Right now, kind of sitting midpoint between the highs and lows. Here's KO, broke out of this beautiful area at 47, as I mentioned earlier. I am gonna mark down this 47.20 level here above the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. And the reason for that, you have this one beautiful wick here showing a great rejection, and over here you also have the highs of this range right on here, guys. Look how great that has been. Tons of resistance there. Could not break out of this for about 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 days, and then eventually is able to push up higher above that, going creating a nice push. But again, that could be a great area of support if we decide to come back down and test that 47. Even in the pre-market round, I know you don't have a lot of volume and it's a little bit more difficult to read price action. You can see how it struggled to get above this 47.20 as well. Your high of your pre-market sitting at 47.68, also being confirmed by a couple of days on here as well. That's an area you have there. Above that, 48.22, and clearly 48.59, and you can go all the way up there, but I think this is more than enough to have on your chart right now. You got some three pretty good levels towards the top here. Here's SQ giving it back, trying to go flat for the day. Right now, only up 0.5%. High of the pre-market on it is sitting at 131, so let's mark that down. Above that, you do have a great level being tested by 3 days on here, 133.50, our area of some resistance here for this range here. 3 days being testing that pretty hard there, unable to get above that. Towards the bottom, you have your previous day close, which we're kind of getting to now. Let's see if it's what's going to happen there, if it's trying to go red or not. Below that, you do have a great level here, 125.30. A couple of days opening and closing and bouncing off of that as well on that 125.30, excuse me. Then towards the bottom of that, you do have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days between 122 and 118, creating a good support there for the price action this morning. Let's look at AMD. AMD is very active right now, 423. I'm used to seeing a lot more volume from AMD, but what a big day it had yesterday alongside with some other stocks like MU as well, SQ, Microsoft, all did very well yesterday. High of the pre-market on AMD right now, 58.25. Towards the bottom, you have your previous day close and the highs from yesterday as well. Above the 58.25, you do have this one wick here coming out at 59.02. We'll mark that down. And then in between here, you have a big drop from the previous day close towards the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. What a beautiful breakout you had here. Let's see if we can find a level in between this gap here, right? I do see, yeah, this one right here is going to be good actually. 56.72, guys. If you draw that on your charts, you can see you got a couple of days opening and closing around that area. Some beautiful rejection happening here as well. You got some days opening and closing right in here as well on AMD. So again, a nice level to have there, 56.72, before you get to your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Let's move on down to Microsoft. Microsoft also coming back a bit here. High of the pre-market sitting at 213. Above that, you do have another level here at 216.40. So we'll mark that down. If we lose the previous day close, you also have a nice little gap here like you do with AMD. So we got some minor support levels we can have here, like this 208.41. Not a major support level like we have on 216, where you have a nice change in direction a nice rejection there. This 208 is giving you a nice support, rejection, opening and closing of a couple of days on there. So you want to have that on there midpoint before you get to your highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So a lot of these stocks coming back a bit here this morning. Let's see what is the SPY doing overall QQQ right now. So SPY is still strong, and it's pulling back just a bit, but nothing there. And the QQQs are pulling back a bit. So it could be the reason why your AMD, your Microsoft, your some of these companies are pulling back slightly here. So we'll see what we can get out of that. All right, guys, that is a good watch list.
Hey, Carlos, I wanna say something real quick. It's important. On YouTube, somebody's saying that Andrew mentioned that lifetimes are going to be canceled. There is nothing further from the truth, guys. We are considering redoing memberships. That having been said, if you have a lifetime membership or you were to get a lifetime membership before that changes, nothing's happening to that. You would be grandfathered in and you would be a lifetime member. Just to be absolutely 100% clear.
Yes, whatever you have now, and there's some people with some really good stuff. Whatever you have now stays the way it is. We wouldn't do that to you. That's
and we're not solid on what we're just working on it. Yeah. So do not stress. It's not canceled. You absolutely you will remain in the exact same position you are. And yeah, no rumors.
Yes, no fake news or anything like that, please. All right, guys, let's take a look at our moderators watch list this morning. Let's start with Peter. So he has IBM, KO, Mrna, and AMD. And no, Peter, he has a question mark on his list. Are we surprised? No, we're not surprised you have AMD. We actually hope that you took a pretty nice trade on it yesterday, since how great that AMD was. So hopefully you did. The secondary list, Nkla, Microsoft, SQ, and PayPal. Here's Thor's list. He's stealing Peter's list, so he made his job a little easy there. He's got the same list Peter does. Here's Eamon. His watch list is going to be KO, Neo, Mrna, and he's watching gold as well as his secondary. Tiffany has KO, Mrna on her main watch list. Secondary is going to be Neo, Vxrt, and also IBM. So pretty tight list for everyone here this morning. We're pretty much watching a lot of the similar stocks as well. No, I'm not sure if you have any stocks that are different from what we have on the list.
No, yeah. We're good. Same stuff you guys are pointing out. I don't need to be repetitive on it.
Yep, excellent. And here's Andrew. He's watching Mrna, Vxrt, Neo, IBM, and KO on his list. So again, guys, I think we have a quick recap. We have a pretty nice list this morning. Mrna, Neo, IBM. Looking forward to see what that's going to do there. KO also on our list here. Nice little pop. Let's see if we can get some juice and continue there. SQ as well. Not doing much right now, but SQ tends to do that and it can trade very well. Similar to Roku. Here's AMD. Not doing much right now, but a lot of these companies had a big day yesterday. Let's see if they can get some juice and continue here. So thank you so much for joining the pre-market show, you guys on YouTube. We are going to continue over in our chat room, fine-tuning our list. Brian and Andrew are up next. They're going to go over their watch list and what they like this morning. So take care, trade safe, and we'll see you tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.